Hello everyone. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2024 at 11:48 a.m. in the morning. So, well, last night I was itching all over again and didn't get to sleep well. And I had some more dream manipulation nightmares, but I kind of don't remember them. Um but I woke up at 8:57 a.m. this morning. So I was disappointed because I thought that I was going to get to sleep very great or sleep like a baby last night, considering the idea that I took a detox soak bath with the Epsom salt and the Himalayan pink salt. Excuse me. And so I see I'm hearing the tapping. I can hear it, but you probably can't hear it right now. So I'm exhausted about the mind games and manipulation that the gang stalkers do. And it's nothing but arrogant pride for them to think that they will win. That they brag about how they always win. You don't win by cheating and stealing and destroying lives. That's not winning. So they sabotage job opportunities and then harass about how you should go get a job. That's the kind of games that they play. And I'm sick of it. So, but I guess that job probably was not meant for multiple reasons anyway, that airport job, because how do you have an employer where they're never really at the office, they never answer phone calls, emails, and they're hard to get in contact with, so, but they were there for the interview, and then the day after Christmas, I think, when I got hired for the position. And then, oh no, it was that Wednesday, I think, 2 days after Christmas, and then that Thursday night was when the excuse me, excuse me, when the perps called up the airport, or they emailed the airport and told them lies about me. And now they're harassing me about how I should get a job and falsely accusing me of being greedy and lazy. And, these people, and I'm tired of reiterating the same thing, about how I don't know these online stalkers. And it's unfair for the airport to say that these are complaints when these are online stalkers, and that had nothing to do with, it's none of their business, and they had nothing to do with my interactions with the perps in person. Now, if I would have had direct, situations with people, and they go and complain, go and say something, that's complaints. But online stalkers, spinning a narrative and twisting the truth and making up lies, those aren't valid complaints. So, I also wanted to say before I forgot that today and tomorrow is supposed to be severe weather. Today the weather is supposed to be so severe that the kids they already got out of school earlier. And I heard that they have like severe thunderstorms, flooding, wind, hail, everything. And y'all gang stalkers would have wanted me out on the streets in that kind of weather. And broke with no money and hungry. You know, so. And people in the so-called TI community, you know, they only give love and care and respect and honor to the popular fakes that don't need your money. You know, they're sitting there. Nobody says anything about how, if they're rich enough that they can afford, you know, to have their own lawsuits, but they want to charge the poor, suffering, struggling, targeted individuals money for these lawsuits. They want to charge you money to participate in this lawsuit when you're struggling for a freaking meal to eat and homeless. And I have a disadvantage because I do not have a car. I'm not homeless living in my car. But y'all want to force a target's life to be way more expensive. Both the online and in-person gang stalkers. You know, that I could have been living at $213 a month rent. But no, I mean, I gotta be spending, so I'm not even gonna disclose the amount of nights for a hotel room for like a few days a week. I mean, a few days for the first week. And then be broke. And then having to, for the rest of the, 3.5 weeks out of the month on the street struggling, begging and panhandling. Now I have no place where I can charge my phone, use the bathroom, at night when I gotta go back on the streets. You know, you sabotage job opportunities. You sabotage me trying to do my own thing with my own entrepreneurial, trying to write and stuff like that. And y'all think, and you know, you're playing with my soul and you're playing with my life. You know, and some of these stalkers, they really do delusionally believe that they're the boogeyman. They really do. Or excuse me. Or they act like they delusionally believe they are Satan himself. But then want to try to play God in my life. And they want to steer me in the path of they going trying to force me on the road to destruction. They do not have my best interest at heart. Excuse me. You know, excuse me. And then the fake TI perps, the narcissistic, it's always a narcissist component with them. The narcissistic control freak fake TI perps, they try to give you advice on how to destroy yourself, and then get mad when you don't take their fake unsolicited advice, and then they act like as if they're frustrated and annoyed with you crying out for help. But then excuse me, you have a house and a car and you hypocritically beg for donations. So and then you condemn me. So I mean, I've been spending like time, and like it's hard to even get to recover from the days of sleep deprivation, and then waking up. Even this morning and yesterday, I woke up fatigued and tired all day. I was fatigued and tired all day, and my hips, wake up with my hips hurting. They hit me with directed energy weapons and all that, you know. Excuse me. So I haven't been able to I mean, as I said, I've been too fatigued and too tired to even do like longer YouTube videos or anything like that, you know. And when I'm out on the streets, I'm in constant fight or flight mode, you know. Like even now, I'm exhausted. Excuse me. So yesterday, when I went to try to go towards the lobby, it was before you get to the lobby. I was trying to excuse me, trying to go and get me some put the little package of rice in the microwave, and they had a younger black male perp that had his phone secretly filming and recording me, but he had his phone directed sideways. And then they had these two ladies, a black lady and a white lady, that had the same room, but the same hotel room. But then the very second I passed by their door, they opened the door and nearly walked out and almost bumped into me. You know, I mean, so I was just walking, and then they caught me off guard and scared me. You know. And then dealing with, some of the front desk people acting weird. Well, one of them acting weird and throwing up satanic hand signs and stuff like that, you know. Excuse me. So, I shouldn't have to fear exposing evil. You know, so I don't remember when the last time it was that I ate lunch. It probably was for New Year's, and maybe not even then. So, excuse me. Well, I probably did eat lunch on some days last week, but, excuse me. But, at this hotel, you gotta pay for breakfast, and the dinner, the bar or whatever, is only open certain days of the week, and that's expensive too. So I couldn't even really afford to keep eating like that all the time. You know, I think I ate the breakfast 3 times, and it's really good and everything fresh. Excuse me. And then the dinner I had only twice, but yeah, ever since Saturday evening, I guess, and now it's Monday, I've been living off of Dollar Tree food. And then my body's still feeling weak and hungry. So, yeah, as I said, at that Dollar Tree, they didn't have, you know, they didn't have, like a refrigerator where you can get like some frozen pizza or anything like that, or frozen pancakes or anything, no milk or anything. But they did have Walmart and Family Dollar nearby, but I was so exhausted and so tired, extremely tired and exhausted. And I think I remember I was in pain and my hips were hurting. I was sleep deprived and I was irritable. So I so yeah, it's a certain amount of more money I'm not gonna mention that I could have had, but thankfully I'm glad that I did get the mail, the the opportunity to get mail. But see, the fact that I couldn't go to 1803 Gravier Street and get mail there for free, you know, now I had to pay a certain amount of money I'm not gonna mention, um, and pay for a place to receive mail. And that's part of the gang stalking, that they force life to be way more expensive for you. Excuse me. So like, it's they make it like so much harder. Excuse me. And you know I've been suffering like severe depression. So like last night and this morning, and I think the day before yesterday, the fake Darnell Williams perp came to harass me even more. And it seems like YouTube only took down a couple of his fake accounts, but they didn't take them all down. And whoever that is, it's like they being lazy and not doing their jobs, or they, secretly participate and laugh on the other end. You know, so I mean, I'm so like emotionally depressed that I can't even express how I'm feeling right now. You know, and I'm sitting here, wondering, if my family oppressed my twin sister, then why she's so hell bent on wanting to defend them. If even like when we went for Blake's funeral, my even the biological nephew Raymond and the biological sister Ramona, the brothers Wyatt and Mark, they all huddled together and talked about how they were glad that Brandy wasn't down there because they wanted to beat her up or hurt her or do her something. And they pretended to be fake nice towards me and pretended to be fake nice just for the funeral. And Monica wasn't even nice. Hadn't seen me in over a year or heard from me in over a year, and wasn't even nice for the damn funeral. At the funeral, having an attitude and, trying to brainwash who was her boyfriend at the time, that Marcus guy, trying to brainwash him to think certain things about me. So, and even Rebecca had a damn, attitude with me. And Yvonne, all of them were rude towards me at the damn funeral. And then at Daryl's funeral, Blake's dad, my uncle, Daryl, well, drunk lady Yvonne's husband, Daryl, they acted, the family, they acted even worse at Arthur, I mean, I'm sorry, not Arthur, at Daryl's funeral. You know, so, so then, you know, with, at Blake's funeral, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all this is what happened. Okay, so it was what day was it? Okay, the the day that, let me back up. So it was somewhere about maybe December 9th or somewhere around there, 8th or 9th or something, that Friday night slash Saturday morning. And now over the summer, like shortly after I moved into that place in Greenville, South Carolina, that Section 8 apartment, um I think it was by that July. Now, I had just moved there and I had experienced I experienced you know, I had just moved there and nobody really knew me, and I was wondering why there sounded like gunshots at my apartment, like as if somebody was shooting right at my apartment. And a few nights I had to hurry up and go hide in the bathroom or hide in the and I was wondering who knew me, or you know, or why would people want to shoot at me? So they were trying to shoot at me, and then like during the daytime I would go look around and there were no bullets nearby, like no bullets or no holes. But the shooting would sound so close, you know, excuse me, by my apartment. You hear that tapping? Excuse me. So that was July of 2016. I moved in like very late June of that year, right after dealing with the biological brother Pete, living with Pete for 3 years. And Pete was, you know, treated me with abuse because of the false rumors what he heard the family say about me. So why send for me to come to live with you, and then the moment you see me, haven't seen or contacted me in years, and then like I met him once in 2010, and I think that was my first time meeting him in person or whatever for Labor Day. But he been locked up in jail or prison off and on or whatever throughout these years. I'm not sure about his doggone life. But he was part of the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult. And, you know, he was stealing from me. Like stealing, like Mark and Pete and the biological nephew John, they are three family members that will steal your money in front of your face. And certain foster family members, like the foster sister Shelley, would do stuff like that too. Snoop through your stuff in front and steal it from you in front of your face. Excuse me. And then it will be World War III if you stood up to them or said anything. So then, but excuse me. After, like July of 2016, I don't remember what month it was. that I had now back in 2007 or 2008, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I woke up from a nightmare about Blake dying. It was way back in 2008, and I was living in Denton, Texas. Or was it 2007? One of those years. So anyway, in 2007, I think it was, the biological cousin Daryl Jr., who they call Do, he got stabbed after Hurricane Katrina. And Mark and other family members got mad at me for crying and thought I was crazy for crying. So I heard that dude got stabbed and people thought that he was dead. And then in 2009, Rebecca got shot in the leg. And then Ramona told me that Rebecca has to live with that bullet in her leg for the rest of her life, because they said that they shot her in a spot where if they took the bullet out, she wouldn't survive or live. So then Blake, you know, damn, I'm starting to get kind of like emotional. But like in excuse me, 2003 or 2004, Blake had got arrested and went to jail for and he was in jail for 8 months. And they said that he got arrested for being an accessory to a crime. They said one of his neighbors and some people had robbed a bank and Blake was sleeping in the car. And I don't even know if Blake really did, if he was an accessory to that crime, or if he really did know absolutely nothing about it. But I think I heard that Blake was the only one that went to jail and the other guys didn't go to jail. But they're the ones who committed the crime. But they said he was in the car sleeping and didn't know. So I don't know about all that, you know. But none of us are perfect, you know. But Ramona is a thief. Ramona is a thief. Now, I saw that she had a warrant out for her arrest in Denton, Texas, for stealing money out of a white lady's purse from when she was in Denton, Texas. And a couple of years later, her warrant was still out, you know. So, excuse me. So Ramona had, you know, she would steal from me too. And so she would, you know, try to, and Blake stole from me before, but it was petty, small stuff. Blake never really stole big money from me or anything like that, you know. Or I don't think Blake ever stole any money from me, but one time, you know, we were still young anyway, but, you know, family stuff. But, you know, I was upset that he stole a chicken pot pie out of the freezer when I was living in New Orleans Towers. And then when I got mad about it, excuse me, and that was after Blake started to act like a perp and be disrespectful after he got out of jail. But Blake never really gave me a problem. Like, the family used to love me. But what turned the family against me was initially when my twin sister Brandy, when she lied on me and said I tried to kill Raven, then she lied on me and said I molested Raven. Then the family started to act a certain way. And she had poisoned the family of lies from the foster family to the biological family. And Ramona confessed that to me, and Brandy herself has confessed that to me. You know, admitted that I before we turned 18 and I came around the family, that my name was basically already smeared. And then during my senior year in high school, me and my twin sister definitely weren't getting along like that whole year pretty much. It was even worse, and the foster mom manufactured and manipulated it all. And right before our senior year in high school, me and my twin sister got into an all-out fist fight over that. No, she put her hands on me and gave me a black eye over an argument over over how to pronounce somebody's last name. And then the foster mom had made a threat to force me to go take the graduation pictures with the black eye. So, excuse me. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, as I said, I already told y'all my targeting. It seemed like life went downhill when I was 14 years old in that incident with Lanika from the Kraft family. And then, you know, the foster mom scapegoated me, talking about and that was my fault. She couldn't say the last words to her mother and all that. Well, I couldn't say any words to my mom, my dying mother. Excuse me. And the foster mom thought that she had the fake authority to restrict. I was 19 years old, and the foster mom thought she had the authority to restrict and not allow me to go to the biological sister Belinda's funeral. She wouldn't let me go at all. She would not allow me to travel to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to go to biological sister Belinda's funeral in 2003. I was 19 going on 20 years old. Excuse me. And the foster mom was not going to tell me or deliver the message or the news that Belinda had passed away. She was going to keep that secret. Excuse me. So my twin sister was the one who, she told me in person the news that Wyatt called her up. Well, why Wyatt called her up and not me? I mean, let me make that correction. Why did Wyatt call her up and not both of us? Or why did he call her and not me and her? You know, not me too, but yeah, just her. Excuse me. So the biological sister Belinda, I only talked to her on the phone, I remember, maybe 2 or 3 times. The foster family forced us to be away from the biological family and would not allow us by the biological family even after turning 18. So excuse me, it was December 29th. From the looks of it, it was that Saturday, December. The calendar said December 29th, 2001. And so, you know, we were 18 and I didn't realize we were grown and could do whatever the hell we wanted. You know, but the foster mom still sought to control us. And when I was going to college, she had everybody stalking and spying on me. Excuse me. She had everybody stalking and spying on me and then report everything back to her when I was going to Nicholls State University. and I had just turned 18. And she kept me forced, broke, and poor with no money. And then would throw it in my face constantly about how I'm gonna be that there'll be plenty of days that I'll be broke. So it seemed like almost every college student that had loving parents and lots of money and nice cars and everything, newer cars and everything, or had a car to drive, except me. And she encouraged everybody to infantilize me. You know, these people who cared nothing about me but wanted to try to police and control my whereabouts. So, I mean, I didn't even realize I was being gang stalked even at Nichols State University. And when I transferred to UNO, um, I was, I ended up, I was still living with her at first, but then I ended up having my own more independence and freedom. But then I moved into New Orleans Towers, and but then when I was living in New Orleans Towers, my twin sister Brandy was wait till I'm going to school, and then she would do stuff like go around from person to person in my apartment complex and slander me to neighbors and the security guards and everything. And then when she saw me coming from school, her and her husband Dwayne, they would bully, harass, and threaten and blackmail me out of money just about every day, and manipulate it for me to be scared. And I wish I would have, and she would try to, and then when Raven came, they got even more manipulative, and they were negligent parents. Leaving Raven in the same bib and the same diaper for weeks. Even Raven would be filled with doo-doo from head to toe, and then Wyatt would be trying to bully, harass, and threaten me and tell me you better not call CPS and this and that, whatever. I was 19, 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there. Very young, and the foster mom had it to where we just were thrown to the wolves. She never really taught us anything. And I didn't know that, all these choices I did have as an adult, that I didn't know that I had the freedom and the right to separate myself from family, foster and biological family. I thought that I had to be in their lives. In their lives or whatever. And then just tolerating, dealing with abuse for so many years. So in 2001, I think I told this story before. December 29th, that Saturday, my twin sister had manipulated she tricked me into going to see the biological family, and then Ramona was like, yeah, come around and see the family, yeah. So the biological family members, when we first came around, when I first came around, they felt very uncomfortable and hated me being so inquisitive and asking so many questions. And they didn't like that, And so my twin sister and Ramona, they used to, they had tried to blackmail and threaten me to lie to the foster mama about our whereabouts. And I don't even remember where they were trying to tell me to lie. and they pushed me up to do it. And we were 18 years and 4 months old. Yeah, 18 years plus 4 months. It was right after fake Christmas. And then after that incident, me and my twin sister got into a heated argument. I got into a heated argument with the foster mom, and the foster mom blamed everything on me and said it was you the one who called. Well, they pushed me up or threatened me to do it, you know. And then she would try to tell me about how I'm so deceitful and everything, you know. But even after turning 18, none of the biological family members let us stay by them. But Ramona always wanted me to spend a night by her house, but she never allowed us to live with her. She waited till after I got my place, and then always wanted me. Before I knew it, it looked like I was living with her. And then the biological mom, Frances, never let us stay with her. I don't even think I ever spent the night by the biological mom, Frances' house. I mean, you know, I don't, like, when we were little babies, you know, I guess that's the only time we ever got to live with the biological family. Excuse me. But as an adult, I've lived with Mark off and on a couple of times, and wasn't a pleasant experience. You know, and I started to wonder if he had secret cameras stalking and watching me. And Mark used to install bad, like, malware or whatever, or stalker spyware on my computer. And he would make random trips to want to you know, pop up at my house unexpectedly, and then acting like he's so anxious and eager to use my computer. And then he would go on those gay websites and then put all kinds of viruses and spyware and everything on my computer. Excuse me. And then, you know, he would be, even when I was at Mark's house, he would be gone for a few weeks, and then call me up and tell me everything I did in the house. Or I would be living in Los Angeles, and my twin sister would act like she could tell me everything I do all day. And Pete was like that too. When I stayed by Pete, Pete had, you know, he would be gone to work all day and then come home and tell me everything I did. Excuse me. But then Pete would lie and say I never showered, when I would take showers at his house. Or if they want to talk about me being on a computer all day, or, you know, it was my laptop or my computer, or me being on my phone all day. It was mine. You know, Pete made false promises to let me use his car and for me to go find job opportunities. He lied about all that. So what was I supposed to do in his house all day? He lied to say he was going to give me a copy of the key to his house. Never did that. What was I supposed to do all day? Well, at least I was doing some productive research. You know. So anyway, I'm sorry I'm kind of going all over the place, you know. So, yeah, like in 2001, well, early 2002, I mean, that's when my twin sister brainwashed that foster boy, Kenneth. And then, ever since then, you know, Kenneth started to act like an abusive, narcissistic perp. After my twin sister lied to him and got in his head, and she would befriend the foster boys, black or white. You know, she would befriend them, excuse me, and manipulate them to hate me and treat me a certain way. Like that foster boy, James Joseph. Not Joni's brother, James, but that other foster boy, James. And I didn't realize this was all part of the gang stalking. You know, and the foster mom, of course, she also brainwashed the foster boys to think a certain way about me. So the abuse from the foster family intensified after we turned 18. Even though the abuse got worse from the foster family, it seemed like the biological family is even worse and more cruel and cutthroat than the foster family. And it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And I didn't realize that when we were in foster care, the foster mom manipulated for me and my twin sister to hate each other and to be against each other. But then at the same time, condemned us for not loving each other. But she was the one who manufactured and manipulated all this for money. And she ran her own household like she was her own cult leader and kept us in constant fear for 18 years. Well, longer than 18 years. So, you know, the biological Aunt Yvonne, I guess I met her the next day or reunited with her because I don't remember knowing her as a baby. I guess it was Sunday, December 30th, 2001 was when I met Yvonne. And she was not nice. And she wasn't excited to see us or anything, or excited to see me. And Yvonne, likewise, hated me so much I was never allowed to spend a night by her house or anything. And she didn't even get to really know me. You know, she also treated me and certain other family members, like the biological niece and nephew, Monica and Raymond, abused me and treat me a certain way because of false rumors that they heard about me rather than getting to know the real Candy Grand Prix. Wyatt, Ramona, and Mark and my twin sister, and probably Sean too, put stuff in everybody else's head and make them hate me and make them think a certain way about me. You know, and Derek even hated me before the youngest brother, Derek. You know, I'm totally estranged from him. You know, hated me before he can get to know me. But my twin sister can fight with other family members and then forgive and love. But when it comes to me, not only her, but other family members, from the slightest little offense, for them to get mad at me for something, they'll stay mad for 10, 20 years. So in 2001, I think it was a Sunday, December 30th, was when, I don't remember meeting Blake that first night, but it was the next morning, I think. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know we had a cousin named Blake or Daryl Jr. I didn't meet Daryl Jr. until like maybe 2004 or 2005, because he was always at work. And Yvonne and Daryl Jr., I can count on my hands how many times I've seen them. And the same with Blake, but I think I used to see Rebecca a little more often, you know. And I can almost count on my hands how many times I interacted with my niece Monica also. I haven't had a whole lot of contact like that with them, you know. Excuse me, but it's unfair that Raymond and Monica hate me for defending myself against Ramona's abuse and trying to take advantage of me. And they know damn well she's like that, you know. So, I mean, damn, they have me itching all over. So, I mean, in 2001, when I first saw Yvonne, well, Rebecca was like 11 years old, and she still had her innocence. And they just came from church. And Ramona had us to get in Yvonne's car. It was a white Dodge Intrepid, I think. It wasn't a Chrysler Concorde. It was a white Dodge Intrepid with blue seats. And Yvonne wasn't nice. And she was drinking and driving. Like drinking beer and driving. And stay drunk, eternally drunk. And never gets pulled over. But I mean, how is she an alcoholic, always drinking and driving? and never got pulled over by the police, ever. And never has, as abusive and cruel and mean spirited as she is, I don't see how she never got in trouble with the law. But I never heard of her using physical violence towards anybody. But she's mean as fuck. And Ramona said that Yvonne get her mean spiritedness from her dad Adolf, a black man named Adolf. So. But if Yvonne is so mean and heartless, how come Daryl's side of the family, her husband's side of the family, always idolize and worship her and go by her house and everything? People don't avoid Yvonne and say, oh, we're going to stay away from her because she's negative. Ramona and Yvonne are getting to all out heated arguments and cuss each other out and call names. And then 5 minutes later, that they love each other again. And the same thing with Monica and Yvonne. But, the one name I call Ramona, with her initial narcissistic abuse and my reactive abuse. Oh, you want to hate me for 5-10 years because how many times you call me retarded? So, excuse me. Excuse me. And so the biological family is pretty much dangerous to be around because they try to set me up in scenarios where they try to set me up to die or set me up to set me up to be sacrificed or set me up to die or set me up to set me up to get arrested or go to jail or something. Or they'll make jail threats or threats to get you locked up in a mental institution. And so for me to be 40 years old and family members who don't care about me, other family members, excuse me, they would have done like a missing persons report or, a welfare check or something. My family gives 0 fucks. And that's what you call not normal. And then laugh and think this shit is funny. They put me in debt, heavy financial debt, and keeping me financially struggling. Using and just taking advantage and taking advantage and taking advantage. The family became more evil and got worse after the biological mom, Frances, and the biological dad, Arthur, passed away. So, Arthur's side of the family, I don't know them that much, but they seem more normal and more stabilized, more stable and more normal than this side of the family. Excuse me. So, when I first met, I'm going to say met because we were gone before Blake and them were ever born or whatever. When I first met Blake and Rebecca and them, they used to love me. But the family didn't even have imagine having the biological family, they pretended to be too poor. They didn't even have a welcome home party or a welcome back party from when we came from foster care and then reunited with the biological family. Ramona, that first night or whatever, or for a couple of days, Ramona left us to be starving up in that house. And then she pretended that she was too poor to have any food in the house. And then she made it all she had was oatmeal and brown sugar. And not that light brown sugar, dark brown sugar. And it was so nasty, I couldn't even eat it all. And then, her and that boyfriend, Amigo, that Puerto Rican boyfriend, he is now deceased. And guess who found him dead? Raymond. that was the talk of the family. So I've heard rumors that when Rebecca was forced to have to, you know, they said that it was the talk of the family that they were trying to say Rebecca was hot, meaning underage and promiscuous. And they said that that Yvonne would get drunk and then put Rebecca. I don't know if this is all true, but they say she would get drunk and put Rebecca out, and then leave her to have to prostitute in the projects, in the St. Bernard projects, with grown men as a way to survive out of the cold. But I don't know how true all that is, though. And so, but well, Yvonne was that not even negligent, but willfully evil like that. How come none of her kids got taken away? CPS should have been called on, but if they got called on us and we got taken away as babies, if Blake and Rebecca were drinking alcohol underage, like if they said Blake was 14, 15 years old drinking alcohol, heavy liquor and all that, but it was the parents' fault. And then Ramona would complain about how when you go to Yvonne's house, like even for Rebecca's high school graduation, that that you can count the amount of corn and peas and rice on the doggone plate for Yvonne, and Yvonne would idolize and worship turkey necks, and all she would listen to was freaking Tony Braxton's song 7 Whole Days and no other song. I mean, their household was freaking weird. But when I heard that rumor about Rebecca being forced to prostitute or forced to fend for herself or whatever, I was going to UNO at the time, and she was like 14 years old when I heard that. Before Rebecca started to act like a perp. Before that incident with that Verda girl. And Rebecca still loved me at that time. She still respected me at that time. And I thought about, well, they're going through that. Well, I thought about taking. I even thought I remember telling Rebecca that, you can come if they're doing that or all that to you. You can come stay by me. Even though I was struggling to take care of myself at that time, but it would have never crossed my mind because I didn't know any better, crossed my mind to call CPS or whatever, for child abuse or child endangerment or whatever. But I'm so sick and tired of the family dysfunction, family got flaws, and y'all walking around here acting like y'all think y'all better than somebody. Walking around like you think you're better than me. Hold on, I'll be right back. So now the perp started doing the tapping again. And I think he's watching. I don't know if that's a woman or a man next door, but they must be obviously watching everything I do, because when I was so I just heard it again. I just had to use the bathroom really bad, and then when I came back, before I laid back in the bed, he just did it again. Started tapping. I'm surprised he's still tapping after I excuse me, came back to lay in the bed. But 9 o'clock this morning, right when I got up, he started tapping. Like he'll start tapping like right before I go to bed, or right when I'm about to go to sleep, or right after I get out of the shower or something. So they must be watching everything I do. But it's strange when I'm being homeless on the streets, though, with going days without having anywhere inside to go. And then they would make fake YouTube comments saying, we're living in your walls or something like that, you know. But anyway, excuse me. But only a couple of times, drunk lady Yvonne has been nice, but they said when she's moderately drunk, she'll be nice and friendly, but when she get out there drunk, she'll be extremely nasty and rude and cussing people out or whatever. But and but when she's sober, she's not nice. You know, but I don't even know if she drunk so much that she's brain damaged from all that alcohol throughout the years. And one time she lied and said that her husband Daryl did not drink. I'm like, bullshit. Daryl had been an alcoholic just like her. See, you just heard it just now? He just made the tapping sound. So and you know, before Hurricane Katrina, I thought the entire biological family was poor. I thought everybody was poor. And the foster family spin the narrative to make it like as if the biological family was very, very poor. Very poor people, you know. But then it seemed like after Hurricane Katrina, it made the family sold out and became even more wicked and more abusive. And see, they hit me with weapons and make my right hand shake. And I'm holding the camera with my right hand. So, yeah, I mean, when I first met Yvonne after turning 18, the day after reuniting with the biological family members, Yvonne wasn't nice. And she had an attitude and, you know, no welcome, no hugs, no kisses, no nothing. But, you know, it's quite understandable the biological mom, Frances, you know, she couldn't stop hugging and kissing us, you know, that night, that Saturday night, you know. But I was brainwashed by the foster mom and the fake social workers and the CPS to think a certain kind of hateful and, you know, abusive and disrespectful way towards my biological mom, you know. And I was also very inquisitive in trying to find out the truth and find out facts. Or if I say, well, the foster mom said this, is this true? Or the social worker said this, is that true? You know, or if I say Wyatt said this, is this true? Or Sean said this, is that true? You know, they didn't like me being inquisitive, you know. Excuse me. So, Yvonne and them, I don't know where they exactly originate from, but as far as I know, they've been living in the St. Bernard projects until Hurricane Katrina happened. Then after Katrina, I think I heard Yvonne and them went to Lafayette, but Blake and them went to Houston, Texas. And then somehow they reunited, and afterwards, Yvonne and Daryl Jr. and them, they were living in the Iberville projects, I think. And then afterwards, now they live where they live at, you know. But in 2015, 16 or something like that, my twin sister Brandy called me up and said that was the talk of the family, basically that, well, she acted like she called me up and trying to warn me, saying, be careful, Rebecca trying to freeload and live off of everybody. And then I was wondering, where did that come from? But sometime between 2015 and 2017 or 18 or whatever, I heard off and on rumors that Rebecca was on the verge of being homeless. You know, they try to say something about Rebecca neglecting her children or neglecting the babies, and then trying to freeload off of everybody, or that and maybe Yvonne was starting rumors. Who knows? I don't know. But this family is the most rumorified family that I've ever known. You know, dysfunctional and full of lies, false rumors, and smear campaigns. Now, the family they've been rejecting and abusing me all these years, and now they're mad because I exposed them on social media. Well, I didn't have any other family member to talk to or anybody else for support. And I've been seeking support on the internet since probably 2006 or 2006. You know, I used to write MySpace blogs about the foster and biological family members' abuse. But for me to talk about this on YouTube and other social media, now the family acting like as if me exposing family abuse and dysfunction, oh, you did something that's unforgivable, or I saw those videos that you did, or the family's mad at me about the ebook that I wrote, and I didn't even really mention names. I didn't mention their names. And the family was talking about wanting to sue me. Okay, you want to sue a homeless family member while your ass is, fraudulently and illegally driving nice cars, have a stock food pantry, loving family members, and, you're not even late on rent payments? You're taken care of. But I had to beg. My family won't do shit for me, and I didn't really ask my family for nothing. But I had to beg strangers for money to survive, because none of my family will do shit. And I didn't ask my family for nothing. So, and I have not asked my family for anything for years. I never asked my family, as an adult, I never asked my family for nothing, for any money. Excuse me. I never asked my family members for any money. Not even 50 cents. Never asked them for nothing. But all that money they drained me out of put me in high debt. So, now, I'm going to talk about what happened. Okay, so when I kept on having nightmares about, it was over the summer in 2016, I had a nightmare about the family going to a funeral. And I was there. And then I kept on having nightmares about guns and stuff. Okay, and then me and my twin sister weren't really on speaking terms. And then next thing you know, she texts me. And I'm going to tell TMI, I was on the toilet doing number 2, diarrhea from my body detoxing. On the toilet for 3 hours. And that morning, I made a facial expression, and I scared myself when I thought, wow, I thought I made a facial expression that I thought looked like Blake for some reason. But it was that Friday night, December 9th or something, 8th or 9th. It was Friday/Saturday morning I woke up feeling extremely like badass vertigo. And then that Sunday, I think it was the 11th, because Saturday was the 10th. And then that Sunday was December 11th, 2016. I almost got killed. It was a white male in Greenville, South Carolina, that was driving reckless, and he was and other people eyewitnessed that he was so close to succeeding at striking me dead. Now, it would have been some shit. I was in a city and state with no family in Greenville, South Carolina. And I don't know how any of the family members would have found out. And I wasn't homeless at the time. I had that place to live. And if I probably would have been considered a Jane Doe or something. So, it was a white guy that nearly succeeded at hitting me with his car, and he was going at such a high, fast speed that it would have been a miracle if I would have survived. And I was walking legally in a crosswalk, and he was supposed to have yielded or stopped. And another person eyewitnessed it. In Greenville, South Carolina, I didn't know it was part of the gang stalking, that when I'm crossing the street legally, say I'm crossing this way, if there's a car that's supposed to make a turn, they try to hurry up and beat me to making their turn before I can legally before I can fully cross the street. And they be trying to hit me on purpose with their vehicles, and that's one of the reasons why I film everywhere I go. So they even try to cut through and nearly hit me with trying to make a turn when you're supposed to yield. Like, what hurry are you in? You're gonna delay yourself even more, taking somebody's life or attempting to. So then, like, if I almost got murdered on the biological grandma Ruby, drunk lady Yvonne, and Mark's birthday. All three of them have the birthday December 11th, and Blake's birthday is December 10th. And so then, that Monday night, I didn't even know that until that Tuesday morning. My twin sister texted me, and for some reason, I don't know why, I thought that I made a facial expression that I scared myself, and I thought, wow, I look so much like Blake for some reason. And I had to do that 3-hour detox of shitting on the toilet. And then, I had not long ago threw away so many pictures of family and family members and yearbooks and people I went to school with, because I felt like, family or not, what's the point of me having possessing pictures of people who didn't care about me? And so next thing you know, and I had some other thoughts too. I'm not even gonna say anything, but all I know is I went to go and look at my text messages, and then my twin sister texted me saying, "Candy, it's an emergency, Blake." And then next thing you know, one of the first things that came to mind, I thought that Blake had died in his sleep of diabetes or something, because he was big and huge and overweight. I would have never thought in a million years that Blake got shot and killed. Excuse me. So then my first reaction was to scream. And then I cried and whatever. And we got on the phone. And I had a limit of small amount of minutes on my phone left. And so, you know, I needed some minutes, you know, to be able to communicate with family members, you know, about the funeral or going to the funeral. And what my twin sister was doing was, like, we talked on the phone, and she was the one telling me about how she didn't know how to feel about Blake's death because of mixed emotions. Well, she dealt with Blake more than I did, you know. And then I agreed, yes, we, you know, seems like to have mixed emotions, you know, about all this, you know. And so then, excuse me, she had, she was on Facebook messaging somebody, and then she had me on hold for like 3 hours. And when I told her about my minutes, I'm gonna have to go because of my minutes. You know, if we just sitting idle on the phone and I have a certain amount of minutes left, and then she said, "I'm coming." She was commenting on Facebook or to somebody, responding to somebody replying rude or something, and then she said, "Our cousin just died, and all you care about is minutes on your phone." And it wasn't even like that. She tried to falsely spin the narrative like I was being selfish and all that. I needed minutes on my phone to be able to communicate with other family members, to be able to get down there for the funeral. So, you know, so then she did not attend Blake's funeral at all. And she claimed that she was too sick. And then, you know, so as I said, some of the siblings and some of the family members pretended to be fake nice for the just for the funeral, but Monica and Rebecca were both assholes at the funeral, and certain other family members. And Yvonne was an asshole at the funeral, and I gave them whatever gifts I could afford, you know, and I try to share the gospel with everybody, and the gifts and everything, they just deliberately and on purpose left them on the table. They all left the gifts on the table that I tried to give. But Yvonne took the money, but she left the rest of the gifts on the table. And so then, I mean, like that guy, Chi-Chi, he loved me enough that he hugged me, and he was crying. And he hugged me so tight and was crying. You could see the pain in his eyes. And so when Blake, it was odd because, I mean, they closed the casket prematurely. You know, we weren't ready for him to go. But to be honest, if Blake was still alive, I think he would still be perping and hating my guts or whatever. But I don't even know if the family sacrificed Blake because, I mean, maybe if somebody off of Daryl's side, somebody must have sacrificed him. I don't know. Because Blake that family and our family, they idolize and worship the color red. Why they got so many family members with red cars? Or they're always wearing red clothes that are Masonic, black, white, and red. Almost everybody off of Daryl Garnett's side of the family have a red vehicle. If it's not a red Nissan Rogue, it's a red Mitsubishi Outlander or Mitsubishi, or red, like my niece Monica had a red Dodge Ram. My twin sister had a red Toyota Camry. So yeah, y'all some motherfucking perps. And Rebecca had a red Nissan Altima. I don't know if she still has that car. Everything red. All your vehicles red. You gonna tell me you ain't gang stalkers? But it's funny because Rebecca had blue hair at the funeral and was in total disguise. I passed by Rebecca several times back and forth, and she had on sunglasses and blue fake hair, and she like had this nasty look every time I passed by back and forth, and I didn't even know that was her. And I was looking all over for Rebecca, not realizing that was her the whole time. And she didn't even want to hug me after and had an attitude at the damn funeral. So there was not one point in time did I ever say, that I ever looked over Blake's casket and said, good, I'm glad he's dead. I would not have gotten away. Why would my twin sister lie about that? And I would not have gotten away with that. As I said, Raymond, Ramona, Wyatt, and Mark, they were all huddling together. And that night, excuse me, after the funeral, and talking about wanting to beat her ass and this and that, whatever. And Ramona thought she had the fake authority to not allow me to cry. But then she tried to, but she didn't say anything about Rebecca and them crying, but for me to cry, or, every time I cried, she tried to make it like I'm just an embarrassment to the family. And so then, excuse me. So then, it's like Brandy wasn't even there, and she was not in contact with the family. Now, 2014 and 2015, the family was ignoring me and didn't want shit to do with me for I don't know what reason. Because even in 2012, 13, 14, in 2012, I made a decision to stay away from the family. And I should have just stuck with my word with that. To stay the hell away from them. So, Brandy was not even in contact with Wyatt, Mark, Ramona, or any of them. And so I thought that they had her blocked, or somebody, or she had them blocked, or family members blocked on Facebook. But she said she found out on Facebook through friends of the family, and she said that's how she found out that Blake died or got shot and killed. And so because like in 2015 was the last time I saw Blake in person. And before that, it was before Hurricane Katrina was the last time I saw him. Because in 2006, 7, 8, all those years, I had not seen Blake. And it was like 2012 or 2013, Brandy was hanging with the family. And she asked Blake if he wanted to talk to me. He acted like he wasn't interested in talking to me. But in 2015, it was when he said, you're unwanted, what make you think? And he talked to me like as if I'm a retarded child who doesn't know any better. You're unwanted. What makes you think things gonna change? Don't come back down here. And then he gave me his phone number, and I was afraid to call him or afraid to talk to him, And then drunk lady Yvonne was drunk, and she said, don't come back down here no more. And if you do, you go stay in a hotel. Well, if I wasn't out of state, they wouldn't be telling me don't come back down there if I had my own place in New Orleans. But because I was out of state, that's why they were saying that. But when 2015, Blake saw me for the first time in years, he did like this. And I don't even know if he was wearing a red shirt at that time, but he looked up and, like as if I'm a walking piece of disease. And Monica, treated me like she see me every day, So, but the family was so hurt. The entire family was so hurt about Blake. But I'm in this targeting trafficking program. you know, so, and the family they don't even care about what danger I'm in or what happens to me, but so it's like, I wonder, it seems like my twin sister made that up. And I never said that it was Wyatt that said that I looked over the casket and said that good, I'm glad Blake is dead. I said that's, if any family member said that, that sounds like something that he would say, or possibly something that Sean would say. But Sean wasn't at the funeral either. Excuse me. So, but neither Wyatt nor Sean said those things. But all I know is when I came back from excuse me, when I came back from Blake's funeral and went back to Greenville, South Carolina, Brandy was telling me that family members were saying that I looked over Blake's casket and said, good, I'm glad he's dead. Why would I waste the little money I have just to go to a funeral and say that? And, and I would have got jumped, brutally jumped. And that wasn't even crossing my mind to even think like that about Blake. I mean, I fought tooth and nail to go down to his funeral, just for family members to be rude and abusive and have an attitude. Raymond and Derek even acted like they loved and fake loved and cared about me just for the funeral. But for Daryl's funeral, Derek and Ramona and them were acting abusive and cruel and acting like fucking perps, But for Blake's funeral, Daryl was still alive, and he hugged me at the funeral, and he said, I'm still trying to stay strong, niece. But Daryl will always tell me, come spend the weekend. But drunk lady Yvonne never allowed me, she was younger than Daryl, I don't know how many years, but much younger than him. And she was the one who wears the pants in the house. She bossed, controlled, and overruled him. And the biological mom, Frances, was young enough to be Arthur's child. And she was the one who would boss. And Arthur was in the military. And she used to boss and control and overrule Arthur. And I was wondering if this is a thing with the New Orleans family members. The New Orleans wife and husband. And the fake foster mom, Adrian Felder. Whatever husband of I don't know how many 800 husbands she had. Whatever. She will always boss, control, and overrule the husband. And the husband would be her puppet. But she would try to boss, control, and overrule the foster dad, Al, and that newer foster stepdad. Now, with the biological cousin Blake, I don't know for sure if his death was a blood sacrifice or not. But it kind of seems like it, and it was random and caught me off guard. But I haven't even done anything that horrible in the family, for the family to just totally disown and disrespect me like that. Because when I called up the family in 2011 and told them the news that I had lupus, even the biological mom, Frances, nobody cared. That I'm like, wow, if this was a condition where I could die. But, but I had, as I said, totally cured myself. So I don't even have lupus symptoms anymore. But it sure be feeling like it though. When I wake up in the morning with my hips hurting. So, but as I said, with the family rumors and everything, multiple family members hate me based on lies, false rumors, or smear campaigns that they've heard. And even Daryl Garnett's side of the family and friends of the family hate me based on rumors that they heard. So the biological half-sister Yolanda, I found out through a random internet search. Me searching for Ramona, I was surprised to find out Yolanda had passed away. At 63 years old, I think it was last year or 2022 or 2023, I don't remember. I think it was 2022. And I only saw Yolanda like 3 or 4 times in my life. And Yolanda was not nice. Yvonne kind of mean, but she wasn't mentally off, slow, and retarded like Yvonne. But Ramona smear campaigned me to Yolanda and them, but then she tried to say it was wrong for Yolanda to charge me money for pralines if she's selling pralines. Yolanda's side of the family, they know how to run businesses, and like even the biological niece Brittany, or the half-sister Yolanda's daughter Brittany, owns her own business, like her own hair or whatever business. And so, if Yolanda had her praline selling business, she could have showed me how to operate or run a business. I shouldn't have to be no doggone homeless. And the foster mom, Adrian Felder, ran her own businesses, and I didn't have to be homeless. But the foster mom would taunt and harass me about how I'm gonna grow up to be homeless. Homeless and living underneath the bridge. Now, the foster mom's latest husband, well, the most recent one, I don't think she ever been married after that 4th husband. The husband that came after the foster dad, Al. So the foster mom, Adrian Felder, she blood sacrificed that 3rd husband, Al. She had him covertly murdered. And we were 9 years old. She blood sacrificed Al via Felder. And she kept his last name and then married a man that has so much similarity to Al. Tell me that ain't witchcraft or voodoo. Because I heard that the biological family members do voodoo as well. So the foster stepdad, his daughter Danielle, she was too young to be narcissistically lecturing people. She also, my twin sister sexually wanted Danielle because she's light-skinned. And we were underage, and Danielle was college age. And Brandy told Danielle so many lies about me. And then Danielle called herself trying to have a psychological and mental session with me where she tried to narcissistically lecture me just like her dad would do. And then, Danielle tried to talk about, see all this with you lying on Brandy. Because they're from Mississippi. See what's this all with you lying on Brandy. You need to cut the shit out. You need to cut the shit out. And then she started lecturing me about how I'm going to be homeless, living underneath the bridge, wondering where my next meal is. And I actually was telling the truth about my twin sister bullying and perping me. Well, I didn't know it was gang stalking at the time. But even my twin sister has even told the foster sister Shelly lies about me. And then looked dead at me and then said that she believed Brandy believe her lies. And the foster mom will always believe my twin sister's lies. You know, they believe her lies without even fact checking. Y'all knew she'd been a liar from the womb. Like when we were little, Brandy used to steal stuff out of steal popsicles out of the refrigerator and then blame it on me and lie and say I did it. And then I would get in trouble without even being able to explain myself, being 3 and 4 years old. I told y'all about how the foster mom used to force us to sleep outside at 3 freaking years old at night. I don't know what other kind of weird ass witchcraft or voodoo stuff they did on us when we were little. But I used to wake up with a bunch of scratches and nosebleeds and everything. Always sick when I was a kid. I told y'all about, a long time ago, I told y'all about how whatever witchcraft they used to do, that me and my twin sister were babies and we used to levitate in the air, not knowing what the hell was going on. I used to have a lot of the foster mom had us in that doggone cult. So there was some other stuff about the biological family that that slipped my mind. But I remember in 2017 and 18 and 19, I made not 19, 17 and 18, I tried to make attempts at trying to get to know Yvonne or try to get close with her or try to have a family relationship with her. It was New Year's 2018 and her husband Daryl, it was 3 months before Daryl passed away. And that was the last time I saw or heard from Daryl. And Daryl was abusive and rude and just having an attitude with me for no reason all day long. But, I still ended up I went to his funeral, And so after the way I was treated at Blake and Daryl's funeral, I said, I ain't going to no more family funerals. And the next family funeral I'll go to will be my own. But I've been neglected, hurt, and abused by the family all these years. Even in 2007, I used to feel a certain kind of hurt and wonder why the family hate me so much. They treat me or make me feel like as if I don't deserve a funeral if I die. And the biological mom, Frances, was still alive at the time. But you would think that it would have brought the family closer. I didn't even get to attend the biological mom, Frances' funeral because the fake LA people would not help me get down there. And then my twin sister played it off like as if, my twin sister played it off like as if like me calling, wishing I could be there at the funeral. She tried to pretend to fake lecture me about how it was very inappropriate. She tried to treat me like I'm not related and trying to talk about it's very inappropriate. That stop with that fake mental health bullshit. This is family. We ain't got no time for no mental health psychological games. You tell your own twin sister that it's inappropriate for me to call, and I didn't even know that was the time the funeral was starting. Or I didn't even remember or realize. But then the family got mad at her and said that that she made the biological mom's family, the funeral into a clown show. And then she was saying that Blake, Wyatt, Raymond, and Derek were trying to force her to touch the biological mom's body in a casket and say, you have to face reality, Brandy. And then she said that the family cussed her out and threatened her and wanted to fight her for not attending Arthur's funeral, but then they want to talk about Arthur's not your daddy because you're not light-skinned like him. Well, why don't you say that Monica doesn't belong to Larry because she's not dark like him? Y'all don't say that. I mean, they have this fake reasoning that just because all of Yvonne's kids turn out to be light-skinned like Daryl, Yolanda was brown-skinned. And the family will falsely glorify her as light-skinned. So, I mean, they want to try to falsely lie and say Arthur's not your daddy because you're not light-skinned like him. So, but we definitely are Arthur's kids. But because at first the family told the truth and said, yes, we are Arthur's biological kids. But then they started playing games and saying that that Arthur's not your daddy. At first, Wyatt was the one who started that fake rumor. And when we were in 8th grade and he was like 17 or 18. And then the family got mad when I confronted them about that. And they say, oh, yes, he is your dad. And then later on, they started to try to lie and say that, oh, we don't belong to Arthur. Well, why did Ramona, it was the day of or the day after Blake's funeral that Ramona introduced me to, she said, our Aunt Carolyn. And she doesn't even stay down the street from Yvonne anymore, I just found out. So Aunt Carolyn Smith, I resemble her a lot. So, but then I tried to get close with her. The family put false rumors in her head. And then after that, like, she got mad at me and blocked my number when I gave her when I gave my twin sister her phone number, like right before, and maybe my twin sister might have told Aunt Carolyn some lies about me and manipulated the woman to block my number. I don't know. But like after I came back from my twin sister back in October 2017, I gave Aunt Carolyn Brandy's phone number, and then she got mad and blocked my number. And then one day I was riding a bus, and I don't think I was homeless at that time. And I was riding a bus, and I saw Aunt Carolyn, and she had an attitude with me one day. But before then, I sat down by Aunt Carolyn's house a time or two, and I sat down by her, and we had a couple of talks, and she seems like she's awakened to the truth about the Illuminati and the New World Order and how food is killing us and everything. But she joined the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult, and maybe that might be another possibility of why she cut off all contact with me. The biological brother Pete must have brainwashed her or got her into the cult. And then that lady named R. Jane Brown, that's part of Daryl Garnett's side of the family. She loved me enough that she always wanted me to spend the night by her, and but I think the family, when Yvonne cursed me out and threw me out cold on the streets in 2018, when I come from the Grand Canyon job and being stranded in Los Angeles for 3 weeks. And then that night, it was Saturday, October 14th, 2018. And I went to, Jane. She wanted me to call her Auntie Jane, even though that's Daryl's cousin. And she encouraged me to go by Yvonne's house, that night. And I kind of wasn't really wanting to go over there. So, I took Jane's advice, to go by drunk lady Yvonne. And then Yvonne was so drunk, didn't want me at her house and was just talking bad about me for no reason. And the drunker she got, that's the worse her words got towards me. And then Daryl Jr. started perping me with Aaliyah's songs and everything. And then all I told Yvonne was, look, lady, I never got into an argument with you. I never disrespected you. And then next thing you know, Yvonne called herself trying to show me the door and kick me out. And, she was... And I had never even done the lady anything. And she started making jail threats and threats to get me locked up in a mental institution. Like, Yvonne, she get that from hearing that from other family members. And then Raymond, he came over that night and he was sitting out in the car. And then he's like, never argue with a drunk person, trying to pretend to sound like he think he's fake smarter than me, saying never argue with a drunk person. And then said, I used to do security, you heard me? Like, as bad behaved as you are, you follow no authority. How the hell would you do security? So Raymond manipulated for me to almost want to punch the fuck out of him with the reactive abuse, with him with the initial narcissistic abuse, with laughing and saying that, oh, I see why you and Brandy always getting raped, ha 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 ha, like just so disrespectful. And then in 2015, Raymond made a sexual comment about my ass, about my butt, my big butt in 2015. So Raymond tried to say that he wanted to fight Brandy, saying that Brandy said I raped her, you heard me? And all that, So he's like, and then he drove me over that day to Ramona's house. And then the next day, I think it was, I think it was Saturday, October 13th. And then that Sunday was the 14th, I think, of 2018. And then Ramona copied off of Yvonne with trying to show me the door. And me and Sean had gotten into a heated argument because I didn't have that much money. And he asked me, can I take him to this place for breakfast? And Sean went around the corner and threw the food in the garbage can. And then lied about it, and me and him got into an argument, and then he started to bully, harass, and threaten me. And so I got so frustrated that I kicked him, and so, me and Ramona and Sean, I was arguing, but Sean had gotten into fights with Ramona, arguments, and she said that he picked up a frame off the wall and tried to throw it at her, and she put him out. Then the next day she accepted him back in. But all I said was, you're evil and satanic, and you're twisted and retarded. And she copied off of Yvonne, because Ramona would have never done that to me, though. She probably would have just argued with me, but she copied off of Yvonne, would want to show me the door. And that night, right after Raymond tried to say, oh, never argue with a drunk person, he went back and forth, hypocritically went back and forth arguing with his own mom. Like, you're a man in your 30s still disrespecting your mom. So, but in 2015 and in 2018, Raymond acted like he was trying to be a so-called peacemaker, or try to include me with the family while everybody else didn't want anything to do with me. So I thought that Raymond had a change of heart. I thought Derek had a change of heart. I mean, for Derek's birthday, he came down in 2017. I tried to give him a gift, and, he just left it in the refrigerator. I think I tried to give him some cheesecake or pecan pie or something like that for a birthday gift, because I didn't have much money or anything like that, And then one time in 2017 or whatever, I try to give Yvonne and them some gifts or whatever, and Yvonne, she'll just take and straight up throw it in the garbage, and don't care how much of the money, don't care how much. I mean, and it's like, as I said, I never did this woman anything. She always been cruel and abusive and mean. But so Yvonne, I don't even know if she was drunk when I went by her house the other night, and that was as a last resort. But I'll say this though, it was, when was it? It was dang. So that Saturday when I saw Raymond, I wasn't expecting to see him, and then that girlfriend he was walking with was purping with red socks. And he tried to play it off like he didn't know me or try to treat me like a stranger. I hadn't seen or contacted him in years. I hadn't done him anything. So earlier that day though, I was on the streetcar. I think I got out of the hotel, and I was so exhausted and sleep deprived and tired that a thought came across my head, but I wasn't going to follow through with it. A brief thought came across my head for me to feel like, well, maybe I'll try to go by my Auntie Yvonne's house or whatever. But I'm like, nah. I said, nah, I'm going to stick to not asking my family for shit. And then later on, I so happened, I was like in the food court area of the Riverwalk, and Raymond was walking by, and I didn't know because I thought that looked like him, but then he looked kind of unrecognizable, and I wasn't gonna say anything, and I'm like, well, Raymond, and then I said, are you Raymond? And he's like, oh yeah, what's up, Auntie? And then he ignored me and kept going. And he had an older woman looked as old as Ramona. Looked like she was in her 50s and 60s, because Raymond had been notorious for always dating and being with women way older than him. So Ramona would let strangers come live with her. Like, she let Raymond's girlfriend, Quandra Harvey, come stay with her. But all she did was complain about Quandra behind her back and say, telling me that she didn't want Quandra over there. Well, how come you couldn't tell Quandra I don't want you here? But all you did was complain about her behind her back. And Quandra had kids. And that was Raymond's older female friend or girlfriend or whatever. But, Quandra, she never gave me much of any issue. She was respectful and nice towards me, And then, but that's how Ramona would be. People who ain't related. And that's how Brandy is. People who are not related, and Mark and all them too. People who are not related, they would be afraid to stand up to them. But I'm the only one they'll bully and abuse and think they're so bold. So then, so yeah, I mean, I was on a streetcar, and the moment the thought came across my head about, being so tired and down and out, thought about going by Yvonne, but I didn't follow through with it. And then, I saw Raymond, and then next thing you know, I didn't even realize the date was December 29th when I reunited with the biological family in 2001. Then December 29th of 2016 was Blake's funeral. And then December 29th, 2003 was that super early. It was right at midnight. And I was scared walking through that area because all I can think about is Blake and what happened to him, even though I wasn't there. But, it was eerie and scary. And then they had people have the nerve to freaking gang stalk me while I'm walking in that neighborhood. And my twin sister and her cult followers on YouTube talking about, yeah, let Candy go to the 7th or 9th ward with that shit. And my twin sister herself, will bully me and think she's so tough. But she would be scared against my twin sister couldn't even stand up to Ramona. She couldn't even stand up to Monica or Rebecca or any of them. But I'll stand up to them. I got into a whole argument with Monica in 2015. And Monica called herself trying to handle up on me. Monica and Raymond, they have zero respect towards anybody at all, but want to try to boss and control people. And the biological brother Derek is like that too, and the foster brother Joe is like that too. They feel like they answer to no one, but want to try to boss, control, bully, and trying to manipulate and instill fear. But in 2015, Monica and Yvonne got into a heated argument, and then Monica was defenseless and scared against a drunk lady. So a lot of the talk about the family hate me, Brandy, and Sean, the family say that they hate us because we're retarded. But the family don't discriminate against Wyatt, though. And the foster family used to say we were all retarded. They don't discriminate against Mark for having that immunodeficiency, if you get what I mean. I'm the one who get treated like I got that disease. And Mark was trying to give me his doggone AIDS or HIV, trying to deliberately and on purpose in 2007. I've talked about that, how he would try to give me his AIDS on purpose. And I heard that could have been a big felony crime right there. So I mean, like, as I said, you got HIV, you're HIV positive, or you got AIDS, and you're going to sit there and I caught you in the act of using my razor to shave your face with and make yourself bleed, or using my toothbrush and your teeth are bleeding and you're trying to use, I caught you in the act. But all these years though, I've still tested negative for HIV, never had an STD. Never had an STD of any sort. But I've had moments when I've been raped and stuff. I've had moments where I've felt afraid that I did, but I never had any STDs or anything. But God must have been protecting me when I caught Mark in the act. And then Brandy said that Mark tried to do the same thing to her. When I kept warning her that this was what he was doing to me, she acted like she didn't believe me, because she wanted to be, hell bent on wanting to idolize and worship him. So so yeah, like, the family wanting to be mad at me when the entire family was abusive for no reason at all, gang stalking, and smear campaigning me to friends of the family and extended family and outsiders. But you're mad at me for exposing the truth about all y'all on social media. But y'all spread lies and gossip and set up and attack and manipulate and play all kinds of games and destroy lives and think the shit is funny. Ramona, I told y'all when she tried to sacrifice me and try to set me up in that car accident. That was the day Rebecca turned against me and betrayed me, and later on that night, and has not been the same since. Excuse me. And Rebecca was still a 14-year-old child. And then that night, Raymond was an underage child, and he drove my rental car illegally and against my permission that night. See, there they go trying to go tapping again. So at first I wasn't even thinking about at first I wasn't even I was just gonna do a quick 10-minute video, but I'm glad I spent nearly 2 hours venting. Now y'all, I know y'all heard that. So y'all hypocritically condemning me about my long ass videos when you can do 7-hour live streams mocking, making fun, and lying on me. And as I said, my twin sister thinks she's better than me, but she's a deadbeat mother and pretends to fake care about her kids. But even in 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, when Monica very first came back from the military, because she barely even made it through boot camp because they said she was pregnant and had scoliosis. She was pregnant and had scoliosis. So that's why she had to be discharged from the military, from the army. But, she was nice and respectful. But she was my niece, but she acted like a narcissistic, control freak, fake friend. But, but then shortly after, she started to treat me with just hatred and disrespect. And I had never done her anything. So I didn't realize they were all narcissistic. And I think that, if I would have known then what I know now about my family, I think I would have had less wounds emotionally and mentally and spiritually, psychologically, and even physically. Because Ramona tried to, in 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, she beat me up and she was yanking my hair out. And Raymond and that boyfriend, Amigo, they both pinned me down and let Ramona beat and pound on me. In 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, before I went to Costa Rica. I mean, in 2005, that's when the family really went rogue. The biological family, before Hurricane Katrina, it was the family they really went rogue with gang stalking getting way worse. And so for Raymond to act like he thinks he's better than me, I do remember, and the day when Ramona tried to sacrifice me in the car accident with the rental car, that morning Raymond was acting out and throwing maybe 2 or 3 hours of for a long tantrum, because Ramona mentioned that Raymond's birth was or the pregnancy was a mistake or something like that, and so he was upset. And the biological mom, Frances, used to tell me about how, and Ramona herself too used to tell me about how they treated Monica much better because Monica is the complexion of white people and Raymond is a whole damn brown skin. And they don't even look related. They don't even look like siblings. But Raymond cut up his uniform shirt with a knife and was acting out, for a long time that morning because he was upset. And I heard that Raymond would act out because, but I never heard of Raymond and Monica having arguments. It seemed like they were close or get along well, but I never heard of any jealousy or, but and Ramona would deliberately kept Larry away from me, never showed me any pictures, and she would swear up and down that she showed me pictures, and she never did show me any pictures of Larry, their dad. And then I wouldn't have known that Raymond and Monica have any half siblings until Monica tried to tell me off about myself during that argument in 2015, and she said, "Oh, let me tell you something. I have 2 half sisters who I don't even talk to." So basically, I never did Monica or Raymond anything, and they hate me. But their mama did me so much dirty shit that Sean, the biological brother Sean, said that Ramona has done some unforgivable stuff. But he would even go and run back to Ramona in need of a place to stay or something like that, I don't even know if Ramona still lives at the same place, the last place I knew. And a couple of days after dealing with Yvonne, that was somebody that looked like Monica, but I was not sure if that was her. It looked just like her, but I was not sure if that was Monica. It looked identical to her. But, they all think that they're better. I've heard rumors that Monica killed a pregnant woman or something, or crashed into a pregnant woman or something. And she didn't even get arrested for vehicular homicide or go to jail or nothing. But I heard that Monica was 17 years old and stole out of her dad's artwork shop or something like that. And I heard that Monica got into another car accident when she was pregnant, and she drive reckless and blast super loud music like a man in a fucking car. And and she also do stuff like I heard that she got into a fight with the first baby daddy's she got into a fight with one of his family members, and she was pregnant and got beat upside the head with a glass bottle. And I heard that she slashed the first baby daddy. I heard that that's the only baby daddy. She got 2 kids with him. That's the only baby daddy. And she busts his tires. I mean, she slashed his tires and bust the windows out of his car. So, but y'all call me crazy. I mean, Derek and Pete, those are my brothers. 2 of my 5 brothers. And they're women beaters. They're woman beaters. Physically abuse and beat on women. The foster brother Joe physically abused and beat on women. Wyatt will have physical fights with girlfriends but get beat up by women. Wyatt, went to jail in 2012, 13 somewhere. Got into a fight with a girlfriend. So the biological brother Pete, I was there in the house. He would physically abuse and beat on Willie Mae, his girlfriend Willie Mae. But I heard that other girlfriend, Devin, didn't play that. Or Devin was abusive, narcissistic, and cruel. Devin wasn't nice to me because Pete put stuff in her head. But Willie Mae was nice, but then he tried to brainwash her to act a certain way towards me. But when Pete was gone, Willie Mae would be nice and respectful. Willie Mae I think she was afraid of Pete and afraid to get out of the relationship. So Derek and Mark and all them, they would drive with alcohol in their system and then treat me like I'm not to be trusted to drive a car. But then they be jealous of me for following the rules of the road or whatever, or at least trying. Because in 2005, after I got my license and stuff, Ramona had a deceitful looking smile on her face, and she said, "I bet you follow all the rules, huh?" And then next thing you know, it seemed like she was trying to set me up. Trying to set me up to crash and set me up in car accidents and stuff. And I didn't realize that that was part of witchcraft, voodoo, and blood sacrifice. I knew none of that. But, and Pete tried to kill his first wife, Rhonda. I heard that he that he stuck a piece of wood with some nails in it in her back. And I'm glad that she divorced him. Yeah, but y'all, all the stuff y'all do, but y'all want to point fingers at me and like y'all think y'all better. I made some mistakes and I was young and didn't know any better. The foster mom didn't teach me any better. But I'm much older and y'all still want to be resentful and hateful behind rumors that y'all heard. But not once have I treated y'all mean because of stuff I heard about y'all. I still was giving family gifts and, being nice and respectful. And they never appreciated a damn thing I did for them. And, you can't, it seems like even with my own family, I cannot kill the family with kindness. It doesn't work. Even with the narcissistic abusers and gang stalkers, you can't kill them with kindness. So, like, my entire family is gang stalkers. And, like, the kids, like, Malia and Lil Randy. Well, Lil Randy, he already turned 18. And Jerniah, Rebecca's daughter, and all them. I don't even know if their minds have been corrupted. But I even saw, like, a while back, I saw some satanic videos of Jerniah and stuff. So, yeah, this family, we're from New Orleans and got, the voodoo, witchcraft, Satanism, gang stalking, and cults, all of it. And y'all falsely paint me as a bad person. I made certain mistakes in life, but I know what I didn't do. And I'm not going to give an account to God at judgment for what you falsely accused me of doing and what I didn't do. I never did Raven any harm. Never. Never even thought of to hurt Raven. Ever. Never would have thought of to hurt Ivan or McKeithen either. So, if I touch Raven and you can prove it, where's the proof? Show me the proof. Where is the proof that I touch Raven or that I try to kill Raven? And why am I not why am I not required to register as a sex offender if I did all this to Raven? Why have I never been charged with attempted murder if I did all this to Raven? But you can prove it. I don't want to hear you getting fake witnesses to lie for you. Do you have video proof? Do you have audio proof? Because you're the type of person that you got money like that to pay people to lie for you. You pay somebody you just met in 2024 to lie and say that they were there. Motherfucker, you don't even have a New Orleans accent, so you're not even from here. So you're not even from here, and you were not there. So I already told about what truly happened to Raven. So now these other people, they were saying, Jamel and Nicole, I should have kept that video. They were saying, and that ICE person, they were saying that Brandy falsely blamed everybody for pulling a gun out on Raven. How could I pull a gun out on Raven if I never in my life touched a gun? I never touched a gun. A real gun. I'm not talking about, what do you call that? The Nerf gun or squirt gun or whatever. Toy guns or water guns. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a real gun. I never in my life touched a gun. So how could I have pulled a gun out on Raven and forced Raven to do that thing, the disgusting thing on me? And my twin sister will copy off the foster mom with making up lies saying that I sexually wanted her husband. Because it started from the foster mom. The foster mom, I used to hate the foster stepdad. And so the foster mom twisted and lied and said that I sexually wanted him. And so then my twin sister used to copy off of the foster mom with lying and saying that I sexually wanted her husband, Dwayne. And then my twin sister recently lied on me and said that I was twerking on her husband, Dwayne. But Brandy was the wife and treated Dwayne. She acted like an abusive husband towards Dwayne. In the beginning of the relationship, she was physically abusing and beating on Dwayne, copying off of what she eyewitnessed the foster brother Joe do to his wife, what Joe used to do to his wife Melinda. The Filipino wife in the foster family, Melinda. Joe used to physically abuse and beat on Melinda. And so now, with the foster mom, Adrian Felder's abuse, and her biological son, the foster brother Joe's abuse, that they used to do to both of us, now my twin sister is continuing with that abuse and then brainwash the biological family. This is how you abuse Candy. This is how you treat Candy. My twin sister ended up being a sold out perp before we even got out of foster care. She sold out and made a deal in order to save her own ass, because she was about to go to jail or get in some trouble because she got caught lying about that foster boy Matthew. And because of that, I ended up being fucking targeted. All behind Lanika. Lanika and the Kraft family set it all up. And Lanika is a fucking witch. A Masonic voodoo witch. And promiscuous. So, hold on, y'all. So, I don't even know if us being taken away and put in foster care and all that happening, excuse me, if all that happening, if I would have, if things would have been different. I saw a set of twins. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I really think it was yesterday. I saw a set of twins, identical twins. And they were here in this hotel and they were walking together. They were grown adults too. They were dressed alike. But I think the only thing different they had was different shoes. But I never heard of somebody being 40 years old and family members think they got authority or high authority over you to tell you what to do and boss and control you, but yet hate you like as if you're totally not related, and they don't even treat you like a relative, and they think that they have a license and a right to steal from you because you're family. When I had my car, the biological nephew John used to think it was okay to steal my car whenever he wanted because I'm family. And then, just like Monica, he thought he was too good to refer to me as aunt. auntie. But the biological nephew Josh, John's maternal half brother Joshua is older than me. But he, I think in 2005, that's Belinda's kids. Josh, Wyatt was trying to manipulate Josh to act like a perp towards me. And he succeeded at getting John and Riri and the kids, their kids, to act like perps towards me. And especially that girl Dee Dee. What was her name? Donna Bass. And she was like the Lanika of the city of Milwaukee. 12 years old, delusionally believes she's mature and grown and a narcissistic child. I mean, whatever lies Wyatt told Riri and John, I didn't even want to go to Milwaukee. But he manipulated and threatened me and scared me into going to Milwaukee. In 2005, for Hurricane Katrina, I was supposed to go to Los Angeles. But I had no idea because I had never really lived outside of New Orleans like that, or outside of Louisiana like that, But after Hurricane Katrina was my first time residing and living out of the state of Louisiana. I'm not talking about foster family vacations or nothing. I'm talking about that was my first time actually living outside of the state of Louisiana. So, I mean, the family, they're mad at me because I spoke the truth about everything. Or even, if I say I heard something, at least I admit that, it's a rumor that I heard that I cannot verify if it's true or not. But I know what happened to me. So in the biological family, they claim to hate the foster family, but they'll just act two-faced towards the foster family. But just like they'll act two-faced towards anybody else that they don't like. But they got direct hatred towards me, and I never did Monica or Raymond anything. And if they say I did such and such to them, they're lying. I never did Rebecca really much of anything. Never did Blake anything. But Blake is not here to speak for himself. But as I said, as soon as he got out of jail in 2005, the day that I got my car, it was April 20. I think it was a Thursday, April 21st, 2005. And Blake got out of jail, and Yvonne had threw like a whole, welcome home party after he got out of jail. But as I said, when we got out of foster care, which was not our fault, the family, there was no welcome home party. And my twin sister was sneaking and seeing the biological family members while we were still in foster care before we turned 18. And my twin sister tried to pretend that she's fake exposing me, talking about that. She tried to brag about how she was full of discipline. Ooh, they hit me in my back with the weapons. Pretending to be, try to brag about being full of that the fake IDMR cult taught her discipline. They hit me with weapons so bad. They causing pressure and pain on my back, the right side of my back and my shoulder. And now for the first time, I can hear somebody above me stumping. I just heard a boom again. So, this right here was therapy. Getting like, for me to, So, as I said, I only met McKeith in person like one time. I met Ivan like twice, and for the first year or so of Raven's life before she turned 2, I was in Raven's life, But if my twin sister lied on me and said I tried to kill Raven or I molested Raven, I never gave Raven a bath, but she would always try to bully me and try to make me change Raven's diaper. And then her and the foster mom got on them that her and her husband Dwayne used to fight over, no, you're going to change Raven's diaper. No, you're going to change her diaper. And then Raven's diaper ends up never being changed. When in 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, when Brandy was staying not across the street, but like very close walking distance from McDonald's 26, my elementary school, she used to Raven used to cry when I come over there, and she used to reach out for me to rescue her. And Brandy used to ignore and neglect Raven. And Raven was crying for somebody, like, somebody please, And certain days, Raven would be covered from head to toe in doo-doo and eating her own doo-doo when I come over there. And then, as I said, there was a point in time when Brandy lied and said that Sean was penetrating Raven, and saying that when she would go to fake IDMR cult meetings or whatever, and then she tried to say that Sean was penetrating Raven and making Raven bleed. But if that was, I don't have any evidence of that, but that's what she said. But if that was true, if that was true, why you still continue to use and take advantage of him and force him to watch her? And sometimes I would go there and Raven would have just on a diaper that she would leave Sean to babysit Raven while she would go to the fake IDMR cult meetings. And then Raven would have just nothing but a diaper on. But I never saw Raven bleed. I never saw Sean touch Raven that way. But Sean and Dwayne initially were the ones who lied on me and said that I touched Raven and thought it was funny. And then Brandy started saying that that Dwayne was molesting Raven and Joni's kids. Why she didn't get him prosecuted? Why isn't she making videos about him? Or why isn't she still bitter or mad at him? Because I bet you she'll probably take him back at any moment. In the marriage and everything, it seemed everything was fake. Everything was fake and for show. To cover up her real lifestyle that she likes to live. Couldn't even take care of your kids, but you treating these new women like queens. You took care of China when you should have been raising your fucking kids. But I'll never forget that in 2007, you acted like as if you thought I was too slow or didn't have the mentality to take care of kids. But in 2010, you called me up begging me to take Raven and all of them. And you try to go from family member to family member and begging them to take Raven, Ivan, and Makita and feeling like you couldn't take care of them. No, you were just selfish and didn't want to. And then my twin sister started repeating the abuse from the foster mom. She started to, and the foster brother Joe and all them. She started to repeat that abuse on Raven, Ivan, and Makita and them. Forcing Raven to wash dishes at 3 years. We weren't even washing dishes at 3 years old. But she tried to force an autistic toddler to wash dishes as a punishment at 3 years old. If my twin sister could flaunt off all these, whatever dishes that she can cook. But what was she feeding her kids? Nothing but like Hot Pockets and Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. That's why they were hyperactive. She pretended that she was too poor to feed them nutritious meals. But she can feed the lesbian lovers, she can feed them $75 lobster dinners. She can take them out for lobster dinners. But she couldn't. She made it like she was struggling to feed her kids. I mean, ignoring and neglecting her kids and calling me up, telling me about even McKeithen being doo-doo-fied from head to toe and drinking and about the kids drinking out of the toilet. Why would the kids? Because you ignoring and neglecting your kids and pretending that you're fake depressed and can't take care of them. But you can take great care of China and this new girl or Alcia or whatever other girlfriends you had, or that Arlene that was driving in your car butt naked. So yeah, I don't even know how much so yeah. Thankfully I'm off the streets because oh yeah, I told y'all about the inclement weather. The inclement weather that's today and tomorrow. And where was I gonna go being on the streets? I couldn't go to the airport, so what was I supposed to be forced to be rained on all night, and then the wind would be strong enough to pick me up and throw me in the lake? That's what y'all want to happen to me? And the biological brother Pete, I never did Pete anything. But Pete stole my money, gaslit, lied, abused me, made me cry, bully, harass, and lecture me every damn day. Tried to scam me with this payday loan, and got mad because she got mad at me because the lady said that I didn't qualify. And then, excuse me, Pete would bully, harass, and lecture me, telling me that I look like a bum. And then he wanted to expect me to dress like a prostitute, and then made false rumors, like including my twin sister. She lied on me and said she lied on me and made false rumors that I was prostituting in the Iberville projects, and then turned around and blamed it on the biological mom, Frances. And then she lied on me and said that, no, she said that it was Yvonne that told her that I was prostituting with her boyfriend Tyrant in the projects. So my twin sister pretending to be fake discipline with the fake IDMR cult and she was very just as rebellious during our senior year in high school. So I mean, I have no problem rebelling against a cult all day long. Fuck it. I don't care about being obedient or being self-disciplined with cult beliefs that's going to send me to hell. Wrong beliefs that's going to send me to hell. Fuck a cult. Fuck cults. Fuck all cults. As I said, the fake foster mom, Adrian Felder, she ran her household like a cult. She ran her household like a cult. So, after I became targeted, after I've been oppressed and targeted, that's when I started to have no choice but to try to stand up for myself the best way I know how. And for me to try to stand up for myself, that was being looked at as being disrespectful. When the foster mom would, unprovoked for no reason, walk into the kitchen while I'm eating generic Cocoa Dino Bites, generic Cocoa Puffs, and in the morning, eating breakfast, and the foster mom walk into the kitchen and tell me you're going to wind up dead, and then just walk off. And I wonder, what did I do or say wrong? And that's why, I end up started defending myself and cussing her out right back, fighting her right back. She put her hands on me, and I fight her right back. So, when I almost didn't get to graduate from high school because she ruined my brand new English textbook on purpose because I refused to go to the fake IDMR cult meetings. It was on her birthday too. I was 17 years old. You hear that rain? The thunder? So then I heard it's supposed to rain really bad and then be very cold soon after. And this is how y'all want me. As I said, I never tried to kill Raven. Never had any reason to. I already did the video talking about the truth about what happened with Raven. And I never violated or touched Raven like that at all. And then Wyatt told me that Brandy came back. That she snuck behind my back and lied on me and said that I looked at Ivan like I wanted to do oral sex on him when Ivan was a year old. And that never happened either. Brandy kept on trying to be like, "Ooh, look at Ivan, look at his hair. Oh, look at his eyes. Oh, look at his this, look at his that." And but she got real. It's like it was. She wanted to flaunt off Ivan behind Raven when I was in one of the. I just got out of the mental hospital, and Mark and Brandy and the biological mom Frances, they were all praying, praying on me being in a weak mental state of mind, getting out of the mental hospital and dealing with being drugged on all those psych medications. And Brandy sent for me to come over, make a detour to Richmond, Virginia, where she was living at. And she wanted to flaunt off Ivan but hide Raven. But all those times, even before Katrina, I've had many of days, even after her false accusations of me doing this and doing that to Raven. And, I wasn't even, even before Hurricane Katrina, even throughout that summer, I wasn't banned from seeing Raven. But she was in that relationship with that underage girl, that foster girl, Calvina. And Raven was 2 months old, and Brandy was hiding Raven from me. And then she let the 14-year-old girl, Calvina, hold Raven in front of my face. And then she would, talk to Calvina like as if Calvina was a grown woman while treating me like a child. And one day, Raven was 2 months old, and she was hiding Raven. Brandy was hiding Raven from me and giving me mean looks all day long. And then next thing you know, she came up with this lying on me and saying that I snatched off and stole Raven's umbilical cord. And then years later, she lied on me and said that I stole Raven's umbilical cord and gave it to Ramona to do a voodoo ritual on her boyfriend Amigo to stop Amigo from drinking. I'm like, how does any of that make sense? Y'all always talking about me not making sense. So if first you lied on me and said that I made a false rumor that Raven didn't belong to Dwayne. And then you turn around and said that Sean said that I said that. And then when I try to call and confront Sean, Mark threatened me and Arthur cussed me out. And the biological mom, Frances, didn't want to hear about it. And I was wondering where were all these lies and false rumors coming from. First, Brandy lied on me and said that I said that... No, first she lied when she was pregnant. She lied on me and said that I stole cereal out of her house. And then she lied on me and said that I said that Raven didn't belong to Dwayne. I was so busy with school and 18 hours of college And I had to drop 2 classes and almost 3 classes, and started failing after she lied on me and said I tried to kill Raven. That affected my grades tremendously in school. I was on the ball even with history. So I had to drop at least 2 or 3 classes because she lied on me and said I tried to kill Raven. And the police or nobody, still to this day, they never confronted me. I was never wanted for attempted murder. I was never wanted as a registered sex offender. But no, you will lie on me and target and gang stalk me all fucking day and call me mentally unstable and crazy. So, first you lied on me and said that I said that Raven didn't belong to Dwayne. No, first you lied on me and said I stole cereal out your house. Then you lied on me and said that I said that Raven didn't belong to Dwayne. And then you said Sean said it, that I said that. And when I wasn't even much in contact with Sean at that time, or the family, because I was so busy with studying with school. Then you lied on me and said that I tried to kill Raven. Then you lied on me and said that I you lied on me and said that I stole Raven's umbilical cord, or snatched off Raven's umbilical cord. Even had the fake foster mom confronting me about it. You hid Raven from me all day. I didn't even get to see Raven that day. And then sometime later, she got her neighbors to lie on me, lie for her, right along with her. And at first it was Sean and Dwayne. They lied on me and said that I molested Raven. But there was no proof. As I said, I will say it again. Brandy sent for me to go in the room with Raven, saying that she wanted to eat in peace and that she didn't have time or didn't feel like grabbing her every 5 minutes. I was on psych medications. I went in the room and dozed off, and me and Raven fell asleep. And then, next thing you know, Sean and Dwayne played a prank with, coming into the room and try to scare us. And Raven nearly fell off the bed, and I tried to grab Raven before she would fall. And then next thing you know, Brandy, they thought it was funny, and then Brandy had this mean look and kicked me out of her house, and I don't know what I did or said wrong. Then they blocked my number, and then next thing you know, Dwayne falsely accused me of molesting Raven and then laughed and thought it was funny. And then that lady, Miss Pat, was saying that, oh, you need to, if you ever babysit Candy, let Candy babysit again, you need to install security cameras around. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So, if I really did touch Raven, why would you laugh about it? You don't laugh about your own child being touched. If that shit was true. And that was the point in time I think she was even trying to lie and say that Wyatt and Toya were molesting and abusing the kids. Or that Wyatt and Toya were drugging the kids up with a whole bunch of Benadryl or something. And then Brandy used to brag about how her and Dwayne used to have sex with Raven in the bed. And Raven was like 3 months old, and they tried to say that Raven was laughing. And now Brandy called me up and told me about Raven eating her own feces before I saw it in person. And Dwayne used to brag about having Raven in timeout, pretend that he's spanking Raven and put her in timeout. But as I said, Raven was a baby. It was not her fault. And Brandy used to, as I said, run around, she would run around and have Raven, to be in the same diaper for weeks or days, and the same moldy, even other family members had saw Raven in this condition. Ramona and them, they didn't even call CPS or anything. But I felt helpless and didn't know what was the best thing to do or the right thing to do. But all I know is in 2005, before Hurricane Katrina, Raven, it was after she lied on me and said I molested, after Brandy lied on me and said I molested Raven. When Raven used to hold her arms out to me and cry, and felt relieved once, I don't know what she would have been, what she was doing to Raven. But for Raven to feel relief once she saw me. And then in 2007, 8, 9, or whatever, when Brandy was living in Georgia, she used to cry and complain about her neighbors telling her, you don't care about them kids, or calling her making her feel like a failure of a mother. Because you are a failure of a mother. Deadbeat. Both you and Dwayne are deadbeat parents. When you want to try to boss, control, and bully your own twin sister, but feel defenseless and scared against other family members and anybody else out on the streets. But my twin sister talking like she thinks that, my twin sister would have, like with that Smoothie King girl, I stood up to her. But then my twin sister would have been defenseless and scared and backed down. So after me being educated about narcissistic abuse and this gang stalking and the spiritual aspect of it, I still get scared at sometimes, but, but sometimes, I have learned to be able to stand up and fight back and defend myself, even if it's verbally. And I don't care if you're a police officer, I'll put your ass on film too. And I'll talk back to you too.